do as much, jumping out of helicopters, kicking in terrorist doors and shooting them in the face.
So you were doing, for lack of a better thing, you were disarming bombs underwater, mines.
That is part of the role of the Australian clearance divers.
You're an Australian clearance
this was
diver.
during the military. This happened.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So why does that make it different?
It makes because he was a braver. It's braver than to just say I'm going to go swim. Yeah, that's a brave thing. First of all, to be in the military, kudos, God bless you, and then to do what you did. And to have this, I thought you were just kind of.
What about you talk about bravery? What about David Dobrik?
Yeah,
just showing up on a boat. All his friends leave. He stays with the guy that's lost 2 limbs to dive with sharks.
Yeah. Well, I think what's impressive is he was diffusing bombs. So now he's he has like a.
My wife told me that you were claustrophobic. So just scuba diving alone.
No, I wasn't claustrophobic.
My wife told me you were.
Never. No.
She said you're claustrophobic.
She's a liar.
Well,
she told me you're.
I guess she'd know better. Maybe I was, and I've just.
No, you're wrong. You're very claustrophobic. So the fact that you would even, she's coming in. What?
I never said that.
You're a liar.
I thought she said that you were afraid to. Well, okay.
No, I was terrified of sharks. My 2 greatest fears in the world before I got attacked were sharks and public speaking, and now my whole job is as a shark diving public speaker. It's very odd.
Can I ask you this? When you're underwater, right, and you're wearing all the apparatus for being underwater. And then the shark does this to you. The first thing I would do if that happened to me is scream, right? How do you scream underwater?
What a great question.
Well, I wasn't.
That's the worst fucking question.
I wasn't actually diving.
Don't even answer
with.
that. That's just how do you scream underwater? It's the worst fucking question in the history of questions.
It's a great question. How do you scream underwater? All right, thank you for that.
Jesus Christ.
Kind of like that? Was it kind of... Paul, was it kind of like that, Paul?
My mouth was probably open while doing it, but I wasn't diving. I was on the surface. I was pretending to be an attack swimmer. And the R&D department of the military were using this new equipment, testing it to see if they could track attack swimmers coming in to put bombs on our ships. And so I was pretending to be an attack swimmer. I was just on the surface, wetsuit, pair of fins, that's it. And the shark came up from underneath me in Sydney Harbour. First shark attack in
Sydney Harbour?
Right in Sydney Harbour.
I've been in Sydney Harbour.
Yeah. First shark attack in Sydney Harbour in 60 years.
I knew a Sydney Harbour.
We're probably the same person.
Not the same person?
No. Okay. One's a harbor and the other's a person.
Oh, one is right. I knew the person.
Thank you.
What are
David.
you talking about?
I have no idea anymore.
Okay.
Paul, you got to explain how when you got back on the boat, your friend had to.
Oh yeah, like there's some gruesome stuff that went downrange that day.
You got to give those details.
Some gruesome stuff that went down that day?
So I'm like swimming back to the boat. So the shark grabs me, takes me underwater, starts thrashing me around, and I'm just accepting the fact that I'm going to die.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah. I life flashed before my eyes.
Did it literally when people say
Kinda,
that?
Like what happened was I realized I was going to die. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm not going home today. I'm going to die right now. And the question came to me, are you ready to die? And I looked back on
You didn't
my
have the
life.
question like, how do I scream underwater?
No, I'd already done that. I'd already screamed and ran out of air. And this is where I'm like in agony, getting eaten and drowning at the same time. And so I look back on everything that I'd done as a lost kid and then everything I'd achieved in the Army Airborne and then the Navy clearance divers and all of these amazing things that I'd actually done with my life. And I thought, you know what? I have no regrets. If I'm going to die, I'm ready to go.
Wow.
And then I didn't.
What's the story that he was saying to David? What are you telling him to tell us?
Well, he's got to say it's his story. I can't start telling his story of his dramatic.
I was losing so much blood. I swam back to the safety boat through a pool of my own blood. One of my hands gone. My whole hamstring of my leg is gone, so I can't even feel my leg.
Brutal.
Oh my God.
The guys in the safety boat got to me, pulled me out of the water, and to stop the bleeding, one of my teammates had to stick his hand inside my leg and pinch closed a slippery, squirting artery until the paramedics
Oh
arrived.
my God. I remember one day when my wife had her period, I had to slip my, no, never mind. It's not the same story. But I was
Speaking of
stuck in the
which,
bleeding.